season. New show, new folks, new reasons. New level, so you know we going up. Start with the old, so you know we cleaning. We gleaning, brand new story. Got a podcast, come talk with Tori. Got you fiending, new stories. New podcast, come and talk with Tori.
Hey y'all, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Tori Talks Podcast so you can stay updated with everything that's going on with the podcast. Hey y'all, welcome back to Tori Talks. I have a special guest with me today. And y'all, before I introduce her, let me just tell y'all, I told her, I said, send me a small bio so that I can, read it for the listeners. And so she texted me back. She said, I did put in Chat GPT, but they gave me a whole rundown. So just say this about me. Paris, why you gotta be so extra? You so extra. But I have Paris.
I'm like, GPT doing? I was like, oh no, this is too much.
But Paris, she's originally from Columbus, Georgia, but she has lived all over the place. Somehow, 4.5 years ago, she landed in New Orleans, which is how I met her. She used to be a reporter, but now she works in marketing and communications. She loves traveling, and she's still trying to figure out what she wants to be when she grows up.
What am I gonna do with my life? I don't know.
So,
I'm gonna
Paris and I, we're friends. We met when I was working for the city, but she's an avid listener of Tori Talks, and she called me one day. She said, "Yo, we gotta talk," and I was like, okay. I'm thinking I did something wrong. She said, "No, no, for the podcast." I said, "Whew, okay, what you got, Paris?" And she said, like, we just got to talk about consciousness, like how people just be walking and talking and doing things and they have no conscience of what they're doing. I said, that's a good topic, Paris.
a few. You know.
Do it. And so here we are.
And said, let's do it. And then like the next day you had a whole like schedule and everything. I was like, oh, that was gonna happen that quick.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay, well, we gonna do this.
We're doing it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm excited. This is my second podcast. The last one was like at least 5 years ago, or maybe 6, and
Okay.
it wasn't on camera. So this is exciting. It was just my voice. I was a reporter at the time, so I was like, yo, don't even use my real name. It was like not like I was anything special, and it was like in a different state. But I was like, yo, you never know what's gonna happen. Don't put my name on
there. So I guess I want to open up with the scripture, because after we decided on a topic and things like that, I started, and since this podcast is about life, love, leisure, and the Lord, I said let's tie this into biblical Bible references.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found this scripture, Matthew chapter 24, verses 36 through 44, and it comes from the Message Bible, Message version. But the exact day and hour, no one knows that. Not even heaven's angels, not even the Son, S-O-N. Only the Father knows. The arrival of the Son of Man will take place in times like Noah's. Before the great flood, everyone was carrying on as usual, having a good time right up to the day Noah boarded the ark. They knew nothing until the flood hit and swept everything away. The Son of Man's arrival will be just like that. Two men will be working in a field. One will be taken, one left behind. Two women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken, one left behind. So stay awake, alert. You have no idea what day your master will show up. But you do know this. You know that if the homeowner had known what time of night the burglar would arrive, he would have been there with his dogs to prevent the break in. Be vigilant, just like that. You have no idea when the Son of Man is going to show up. And so I wanted to open the podcast with that scripture because, like I said, we're discussing consciousness, and really, I never really give a title of the podcast, but I'm gonna do it this time. Stay woke, because I mean, it's a
That's a
yes,
good one. I like it.
yes,
I like it. Yes, yes, it's important.
yeah,
It's important. Like right here, and I think that is this particular scripture, I feel like really kind of parallel is in tandem with sort of culture here in New Orleans, because we're all about cake and party. Party,
yeah,
party, party cake, second
yeah,
line, festival, hurricanes, and it's easy sort of to forget that the Father is coming back, and so you have to be in line, you have to get in line, you have to make sure that you are staying, that you're aware of everything that you're doing, because he is coming back. If you believe, I mean, if you don't believe that, then there's no reason
people
you're gonna do what you want to do. But
think, right? People think they have time. I'm gonna get it together
hmm
one day. No, get it together now. Live your life for Christ now.
yeah,
like,
hmm
like you're
yeah,
not
and the thing
tired of
about
living.
it is, you don't even yes, and the thing is, you don't even have to have it all together to give your life to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he expects you to be, a mess up. The church is for the sick. Like, he knows that you're living in sin. But if you're truly trying, you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to be out here and trying to do better, then he can work with that. But if you're just
Right,
out here walking around doing everything like a zombie, you know you're not even acknowledging his presence. What you gonna
right.
do? You know what I'm saying? When he comes back, he gonna be like, well, I never knew you, bruh. Sis, I never knew you. You know what I'm
Or-
saying? So
And that's one thing you don't want to hear from God. You
Mhm.
do not want to hear him say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." You don't want to hear that. I know I
Exactly. You know,
don't.
exactly. And so so that's why I really wanted to talk about it, because I just feel like, man, people, like, I mean, it be the smallest thing, like littering. You just, like, people here, they just believe it's just a way of life. You just, well, I mean, anywhere where you litter, like, I mean, it's not just New Orleans, but like, you're just throwing stuff on the ground, like, yo, that's your neighborhood.
That's
Like, that you're dirtying up. Like, and I
small
don't,
thing.
I don't know, how God, huh?
I say like the small
I
things,
didn't
like
hear
you say,
you.
like littering. That's a small thing.
hmm It's a small thing, but it all starts with the small things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's in the Bible, or if I heard just a preacher saying that, you need to do the small things like you do the big things, and do the big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
like those small things add up, and it starts there. It's like like a mustard seed faith. It starts small, and then it grows over time. And same thing with sin. It can start small. And it starts really small, and then it can snowball, so like you have to be really walking aware that there's an enemy, what I'm saying, who's trying to like deceive you, and take you onto another path. So you have to always be walking, always be um aware or conscious of what's happening around
Hmm.
you. And I mean that, and that's what the Lord, and then you have that scripture, that Second Corinthians um 13:5. Yeah, you have it right here. Let me just go ahead and read it, because I was going, I had it marked on my Bible. Oh, I actually have it right here. It's like, examine yourselves to see if your faith is genuine. Test yourselves. Surely you know that Jesus Christ is among you. If not, you have failed the test of genuine faith. as you test yourself, I hope you will recognize that we have not failed the test of apostolic authority. And for me, that means just like you need to constantly be trying to do the right thing. You need to
Right.
constantly examine why you said that to that person. You know,
Right.
was it out of love, or was it were you trying to tear them down when you said it? Like am I giving this because I have an expectation that I'm going to get it back, or I'm giving just because I truly want to, bless this person? Those are little small things, and then and but you have to constantly be thinking about that constantly. And if you're not, you're gonna easily snowball into sin.
Yeah. So initially, like I said, we were gonna name this. Well, we talked about walking in consciousness,
Mm.
but I came up with the title "Stay Woke." And generally, when we hear the phrase "stay woke," I don't know how that term was coined or how that phrase was coined, but I just remember it from being like the Black culture, um,
Hmm.
just being aware of what. And I don't want to sound, I don't want to get too political, rather, but just like what the white man is attempting to do to Black culture. And so,
You
but
can say the
on this,
oppressor,
I'm
what the
sorry.
oppressor is doing.
Right. Okay. There
You can
you
say the
go. Thank
oppressor.
the oppressor. There you go. But in this realm, we're talking about staying woke with our faith, staying woke with
Hmm.
the oppressor, the enemy is attempting to do,
Hmm.
and that's to kill, steal, and destroy. But I guess I just want to ask you the term "stay woke." What does that mean to you? Or be walking in consciousness?
So in the faith realm, in the conscious, I mean, so in the Christian realm, I'll just say that. For me, it's just about always walking with God, always talking to Him, which is what He wants you to do. He wants you to always be in conversation, in relationship with Him. And I think that, if you do that, if you're always asking, Him and yourself, and when you're asking Him, I feel like you are asking yourself, you know, what, my actions, what is it that, you want me to do? And then how is my behavior um aligning with that plan, with the plan that He has for your life? And so
Yeah.
that's what staying woke for me is. Like, I'm never, or I mean, I'm a human being, so things happen, and I get hurt, and I rebel. I don't want to do everything that God wants for me wants me to do. But
Yeah, honestly.
yeah, but what I find, and what I feel like other, what the people that I follow, find, is that when you walk in obedience, when you do what He says, when you're constantly like trying to operate in the way that He wants you to operate, then that's where the blessings are. That's where the
Yes.
peace is. That's where where the joy is. And that's where I'm trying to stay. And so, and you can't just stay there without constant, without being conscious about it, without being
Yeah.
awake. That's what I. And one more thing, and then also I think in our society, and I guess I can relate to New Orleans, but I think in just in America, we're always trying to numb ourselves. Like, either is it with a substance, a pill, with alcohol, with the drugs, or just with busyness, with work. People are are overworking the society, or with or just partying, or always trying to have like something to do. Like, we're not sensitive to what God is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not God, then what the world or what the universe is trying to do for you, and this
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a Christian thing. This could just be, just it could be just spiritual. Like, if you're just a spiritual person, like, the universe is always talking, it's always moving, it's always trying to guide you on the right path. If you're filling it all up with crap that you don't need, because you don't want to feel, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to you know what I'm saying, you don't want to deal with your life as it is, you're gonna miss the boat. You're gonna
You're
miss
gonna
the
miss the
arc. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, but it was something that you said that I wanted to. Oh, so you said something about, we might not get it right all the time, or we're
Mm.
human, we're gonna slip up, and that's very true. I think, right, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that some people choose not to come to Christ, or choose not to walk in consciousness, or choose not to be awakened, because they think that they have to be perfect all the time, or they have to be perfect, period.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just
Mm-hmm.
not the case, because and I had to ask for forgiveness today because I was driving, right? And
Mm-hmm.
somebody cut me off, and I was like, why would you do that? Of course, those weren't the words I used. but, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I felt terrible. No, the other driver had no idea of the words that I used towards them, but I felt terrible. And I was like, I can't believe, I'm so sorry, Lord. I can't believe I just said those things. But
Isn't that wonderful that you actually had that sort of realization, like right there, like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I remember, like, growing up, like, I used to cuss like a sailor. Girl, I got suspended from school twice for cussing.
for cussing,
Um, yes, girl, like back in the day, like, I think once in fourth grade and once in ninth grade. So that's how early my cussing, like, it used to be really bad. Oh, really? Like it's almost comical now because I barely cuss. And people ask me, like, Paris, do you cuss? I'm like, what? So that's how you
you
know
have
the
no,
Lord got me because huh?
you have no idea what
Yeah.
this mouth used to say.
Yes, so like that's how you know the Lord, has cleaned me out because it used to be every other word. Like, I mean, to the point where I didn't even know I was cussing, and now I'm like, ooh, so when I cuss, I'm like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's like, it's not even the mistake, but it's the fact that you can come back from it like immediately.
Yeah,
Like you recognize like that wasn't the right way to go. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you do that, like, man, I mean, you should always strive. You know what I'm saying? We're always striving for progression, and for doing, doing the best that we can. But like but I love a person who can take responsibility for their mistakes better than, I mean, let me rephrase. I like someone who makes a mistake and can take responsibility for it, as opposed to someone who just making mistakes and like looking at you crazy because you're trying to hold them accountable. Like what?
okay.
They're like, wait, what? Like what? You got a problem with me cussing? Yeah, I got
And
a problem with you cussing.
yeah, those are the type of people that you high and by, like, I don't want to be around those types of people,
hmm
because later on, if something was like serious was to happen and they can't take accountability for what they've done, then that could get you in a world of trouble, so
It can.
no, no,
And
no.
I feel like the Bible was talking about that. Let me see if I can find that one. Like I feel like I read that. Hold on one second. Uh oh, like right here. Okay. This is First Peter 5:8. Did you put that in your list? First Peter 5:8?
Nope, nope, I ain't put that one.
Okay, so stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. Remember that
Yeah,
your family of believers all over the world is going through the same kind of suffering you are. And so for me, that last line probably didn't matter, but for me, it's like always stay aware, stay
yeah,
woke, stay alert from these from the things from the things that are that I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, from the things that can slip you up. You know what I mean? Like, it
yeah,
slip you up. And I mean, I feel like in Psalms he talks about that too, David. But like you always have to be aware. Like when you see something, you got to be like, ooh, let me like, wait a second, let me think about that. And it can be, and it's not always bad. That's what I think people need to understand. It's not always seemingly bad. Like it can be something as simple as gossip. You know what I'm saying? Like you around a whole bunch of people who gossiping and talking about other folks in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they talking about them, they probably gonna talk about you. You know what I'm saying? And when I went, and so these are things that you realize over time, huh? Sorry, I missed you. I missed it.
They probably gonna talk about you.
Yes. And so, and I feel like, a lot of this is wisdom that you get over time. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying? If you're lucky, you got somebody speaking into you when you're younger and you be like, yo, the gossip is not, you think it's harmless, but it really isn't harmless. All these like seemingly little things, the little white lies. Like, you don't even want to tell a little white lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't want to take, you taking $2 out of the register. No, you don't really want to take $2 out of the register, because you take $2, you get rid of it. You get away with that. You're like, oh, I can take $5 this time. Oh, I can take $100. And next thing you know, you go to jail. You took $500. Like, it starts small. You got to be careful, and so
people to jail.
Yo, it's so easy. It's so easy. And I feel like also it's the people who, and we can, we have personal experience with this, but it's the people, sometimes it's the people who you trust, who have, who have positions of power, you know what I'm saying? We seemingly trust, they don't stay woke. They don't stay aware of themselves. And then they end up in trouble, end up doing things that, they basically swore they never would do, and that we trusted that they would protect us from. And they end up doing it because they didn't stay awake. You know what I'm saying? They didn't stay awake. You know what I'm saying? They
vigilant. They didn't, like they stopped relying on God and started relying on self. And that's things right there. When you stop relying on God, stop trusting that God will do just what He said He would do. You take matters into your own hands, and now you didn't made a big old mess.
It's true. You be like, dang, how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of our people in jail and in prison, or finding themselves fired for, they don't even realize how they got there. They don't even know how it started.
Right.
It just, they just kept on doing it until somebody stopped them. And that's the thing. God's gonna stop you one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? He's coming. He will not be mocked.
One way or the other. Look, just like I'll say this openly. I used to drink good. I used to drink real good. And and the Lord, like, He tried to stop me many times. And what's the phrase we always say when we get too intoxicated? I'm not doing this no more. Okay, it's out. And the devil be like, see you next week. And there you go, next week. But I asked God the last time that I got too messed up. I said, Lord, I can't do it. Take the taste of liquor from my mouth. I don't want to like it no more. I don't want to like it. And that's like, I drank because I liked it, not because, not because of anything else. I like the taste of liquor. So I said, Lord, remove the taste. I don't want to taste it. I don't want to like it. Let it go. Remove it from me. And thank God I don't like liquor. I don't. I don't like it. Not even my wine. And I like my wine.
Really, the wine gone too?
I said, now, Lord, I said liquor.
Not the wine, Lord. Not the wine. I mean, I'm really drinking the more, but yo, the wine, that's the one thing I will say I would drink, that wine and a coconut margarita.
It's
But
all nasty.
I ain't near any wine, so but I love me some,
I didn't try it all, just to, I don't know. I was like, well, let me try a margarita because I like my margaritas. Ugh, nasty. I said, well, let me try a white
You don't
wine.
like margarita? Wait, so this was after you asked the Lord or before?
Yeah, this was after.
Oh,
But
after.
that's all right. I don't need it.
He answered.
He answered
Yes, he answered it. He was like, "Oh, you don't like this anymore? Okay, let me take it away while I can." I see pain in your face, Tori.
No, it's no pain. No pain.
Like,
No pain.
dang, that was the good old days. That was a good old day.
But sometimes I be wanting me a glass of wine. I really do. But I already know it's gonna be a waste of my money. So I don't even go get it. But yeah.
I don't know. Listen, I love the Lord, but I don't know everything about the Bible. I don't necessarily think a glass of wine is a sin. Like I ain't one of them people.
Well, drinking liquor is not a sin. The sin is being drunk.
Oh. Yes, that's the problem.
That's what I sinned a lot. I sinned a lot.
I mean, we all got.
Yeah.
I mean, we all got things that we like that we probably shouldn't like. You know what I'm saying?
But that takes me back to what we were talking about a little earlier. About like how I said people don't come to Christ because they think that they'll be perfect. And the thing is, like, coming to Christ doesn't mean that you're gonna be sinless without sin. It just really means that you're going to sin less. The more you grow in Christ, the more you read your Bible, take it seriously, then some of the sin that we used to commit, we're not going to commit those sins anymore. So, yeah, for people that's out there, listen.
Because you're like, because when you give your life to Christ, you have the opportunity to use His strength. Like you can't do it. Like there's absolutely nothing you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that you should be doing without God. You know what I'm saying? But the major things, the major things cannot be done without Him. And that's what I think people need to understand. Yeah, people need to understand. And so sometimes you gotta be like, man, you gotta like realize that where you are in your walk is not where the people that's still on the streets walk is. So you know what I'm saying, like it's because we can be like, hey, you ain't gotta be perfect, but but that's because we've come into that realization. Like when we were first out there, we're like, dang man, I can't be going to church. Like I remember there was this guy, he was a pastor. Well, he was like going to like seminary or something like that. Like he was like a pastor or one of the pastor or something like that. And I was like, yo, I really don't feel comfortable even talking to you because I was out here sinning that much, but I was like, I just ain't, I ain't 100% there. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't even talk to him because I'm like, I'm not even 100% there with Jesus. I believe, but my relationship with him is kind of weird, and like that was dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be perfect. That was an opportunity gone. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to be perfect, you know what I'm saying, to rock with God and, rock with his people. You know what I'm saying? If anything, like, his people should know. I mean, you got those who think they perfect, but, his people should know that, we all just trying it out here. We're all, so close from, we're just one sin away from, falling backwards. It's so easy. It just depends on what that sin is,
In your opinion, do you think there is something, do you think that a person can be too woke or too aware or too conscious of what they're doing?
You heard that saying, like, you're so heavenly bound, you're no earthly good. I think that's what it is. No, you're so heavenly bound. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that bound is the right word, but something like that. Yeah, like you so high and mighty, you can't your job is to try to bring as many people to God as possible. Like that is your mandate to bring his sheep to him. And you know what I'm saying? You coming from this judgmental, hateful place, you're actually turning folks away from God
Mm-hmm.
because you think you so great and good. When in reality, if we really pull that curtain away, mm, it's some stuff back there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some stuff back there, nasty stuff, the worst stuff than these people you out here judging. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
so, and I, so that's what I find those people who can just, who can treat God's people. Everybody's God's people. So if you're treating God's people and you're looking down on God's people, are you really godly? Like, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can dehumanize, like, I mean, we can go back to the oppressor. Like, if you can really look at someone else and
Mm-hmm.
and believe that you're superior to them for whatever reason, because you know the Bible from front to back, because you have a lighter skin tone, you know what I'm saying, or because your hair is straighter, or because you're skinnier, you know what I'm saying. Like, if you can
Mm-hmm.
really look at people and believe that you are superior because of those things, I question your relationship with God,
Yeah.
or with or with Jesus, because I mean this man was walking the earth perfect, white as snow, even though that you know what I'm saying, white as snow, yet he still humbled himself enough to wash people's feet. You know what I'm saying? Like to, you
Right.
know what I'm saying, to hang out with the sinners and the murderers and the, you know what I'm saying, and the prostitutes, and he showed love, he showed grace, he showed respect. And you, boo boo, looking down at me. That's
You
what's so
said boo.
odd. I was gonna say boo boo the fool, but
Yeah.
yeah, boo boo the fool. That's what I was thinking, boo boo the fool. You, boo boo the fool, looking at me or looking at her and like looking down, like who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who? Like if I was in the hood, who you? Like who are you? It's weird. It's
Right.
just, I mean, I find it, but that's that pride. God don't like the proud either. That's that pride and that's arrogance, and that's what got the devil kicked out, boo. That's what got the devil kicked out.
Is being woke and being aware the same thing?
Um, I think so. I mean, we've used the word, we've taken that, well, not we, but like people have taken that word like in sort of wokeness and like turned it around,
Mm-hmm.
basically just try to manipulate it to
To me, what
to
we
make it
want.
a bad thing, essentially. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but to me it's all the same thing. Like I mean, I, I don't know, it's hard to tell somebody to be self-aware. It's hard to describe it, I think. Like,
Mhm.
to really, it just means like, are you asking yourself questions? Like, are you really um thinking about how your behavior affects other people? And I don't think a lot of people do that. People are selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they're like, I mean, and it goes back to like the smaller things, like you're littering. Who gonna pick that up? You know what I'm saying? Like you walking your dog and you letting him boo boo everywhere. Somebody has to pick that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody, that's fly. You're letting him boo boo in somebody's house, in front of somebody's house. So that's flies that are coming to, that's gonna be, you know, driving that person's house, driving that person crazy. Like it's small things like that. Somebody has to pick that up. You're not doing it, you know what I'm saying? So like you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you in your house. So why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're calling out this person for what they're wearing or for their weight. You know what I'm saying? Like you, like how can you do that? Like there are things I'm sure there are things that you've worn, or there's times in your life or will be in your life where your weight's not going to be perfect. What is the purpose of you telling somebody that they're fat? What is the purpose of you telling somebody that their clothes don't look good or something like that? Like why would you do that? And then also like another thing is like, that I find a lot of people do is if somebody gives you their vulnerability. They tell you something that's going on in their lives. And then you use that, you weaponize that because you want to get back at them. Come on now. Like you can't, like, you know, like, you know, like that I think is a big deal. Like, I think that's one of the things that I think is really ruining our relationships. Friendships, romantic relationships, when people give you their vulnerability, they trust you with something, with information, you know, and you
Yeah.
use it. You like, you cannot possibly, to me, be, you're consciously doing it, but like, to me, you can't really be in touch with yourself. You can't be in touch with your God, with the God in you, if you can intentionally hurt somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I mean, like
And
you
I have this
said.
quote.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, like you said about being self-aware is, asking yourself those questions. Would I want someone to treat me the way that I treat them? And really, that's
Mhm.
really what it's all about. How would I respond to someone telling me X, Y, Z? What would go through
Mhm.
my head if somebody was to tell me my clothes don't fit good, or um the color doesn't look good on me, or I mean, even something as small as, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it, right? Because
Exactly.
if someone says, they come whisper, "Oh, you have a little small visitor in your nose," versus, "Tori, you got a booger in your nose." Well, hold up now.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, you trying to humiliate people like that. That is not. That is not. I don't even want to say godly, because I mean, it's just basic human decency to me. Like, I mean, you know, it all is based in my relationship with God. But like, dang, don't you just want to be decent to people? You know, and I think the majority of people, you know, and I will say that I think the majority of people are good, but it's just the few that are so bad that it just ruins it for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, that one bad apple ruins the whole bunch. It
Yeah.
really is true. You know?
So
Oh,
what
but let me read this thing. Let me read this thing, because I was like, "Ooh, this is good." It's like, a greater self awareness leads to a greater God awareness, and the greater God awareness leads to a greater self awareness. Only by abiding with Christ and living in community are we able to understand ourselves and God. Drawing near to Christ through His Word and by His Spirit reframes how we see and understand ourselves. And so, like, basically, that to me is, you know, when you start asking yourself those questions, when you start treating people the way you want to be treated, like the way you think
Mhm.
God would want you to treat them, and like how God treats you, then you know that changes the whole game for yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think when people are doing, you know, these, when they're littering on the street, when they're cussing out people, when they're like talking bad about people, that's really how they feel about themselves. At the end of the day, it all comes back to how you feel about yourself. If you don't feel good about
Yeah.
yourself, then you want to rain that pain on other people. And you know, and to me, if you had a real relationship with God, you'd be feeling good. You'd be feeling joyful. You'll be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Um, I had some other notes, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that might be all that.
That's
Well,
all you got to say.
I'll say this. Just going back to, placing biblical reference into this podcast episode in Genesis, which is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Adam and Eve were made aware. Well, Eve was made aware that she had
Mm-hmm.
sinned against God. And I don't know, how she realized she was naked after she sinned against God, but she was like, "Oh my goodness, we're naked. Adam, get these fig trees, cover us up, because we can't let nobody see us like this. We can't let God see us like this." So they
Mm-hmm.
were very aware, that they had sinned. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the issue with us is like we might be aware, but we look at it like, oh, God's gonna forgive us anyway, so whatever, he'll be all right. I'll be all right. But that's not really how we should live our lives. Like, like I said earlier, as soon as as soon as those words came out my mouth, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like that's how we should respond when we sin against God, because God has feelings too. Like we can't just do what we want to do and think it's gonna be all right.
And people kill me with that sort of like, God knows my heart. God knows that I'm a good person. Like, yeah, at the root of it, God knows you're hopefully that you're a good person. I mean, you say that,
Right.
but we don't know. Your actions say something different. But I say all that to say is that, just because he's this all knowing, all loving God, and that, he wants to forgive us, don't mean that he will, and doesn't mean that he has to. Like, and I would say, like, how would you just treat anybody else? Like, yeah, you like, okay, me and you are friends.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe you're a good person. I would never be your friend if I didn't. But if you continue to do the same thing when you know, you know what I'm saying, you continue to sin against me when I have articulated to you in some form or fashion that this is not okay, that you have crossed these boundaries that I have set for our relationship. You continue and continue to continue. Like, am I really going to forgive you? Does it make sense for me to forgive you? Yeah, you a good person, but clearly you're not a good person to me. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's the same thing with God. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I want to forgive you. Yes, if you're truly, and it's one thing if you're truly trying to make an effort, but if you ain't making no effort, bruh, you continuing to do it because she'll just forgive me. One day it's not. One day one day might be the day where I just don't. You know what I'm saying? That might be the day that Jesus comes back where he ain't forgiven. You know what I'm saying? So like, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. I think. I don't know.
No,
People might be
I
thinking,
agree.
P, you just too spiritual.
I
you
agree.
know,
You know,
you know.
walking
You
in
just gotta be
conscious.
you gotta be careful with people. Yes. You gotta be careful with people. You know what I'm saying? Like you do. Like, you doing somebody dirty and you don't think that because you don't think they're important, but that's God's child. That's his child.
It's
What you
still
gonna do when
God's.
somebody messes up your baby? You know?
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna say hi to somebody? You wanna meet my
Yeah,
baby before we close it up? Hi, baby. Lily, say hello. Say hello.
so nice to meet you, Lily.
She need a little haircut. But I wanted you to say hello to her.
Well, I
She
can't let
needs to meet Saint, even though I don't think they'll be long. Huh?
Saints not here.
One day we'll do a little doggy date.
Yes, we'll do a doggy date.
Even though I'm not sure if Lily will like. Lily doesn't like dogs. She ain't a dog person.
Well, Saint, I
She
think
don't
he's
like dogs.
afraid of dogs. He bark at them from a distance, but don't get close to him because he gonna run away. So I don't know.
Exactly. Mine's too. She be talking all kinds of mess, but as soon as them dogs jump out,
Yep,
she get real quiet and she'll jump in my
yep,
arms quick.
yep, yep. But before I let you go, I do something called this or that. And so I give you
Oh,
two options and quick response. You just tell me which one of the two you're selecting. You understand?
okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first one, barefoot or slippers in the house?
Barefoot.
Okay. Um, reporter or communications?
Communications. For
Yeah,
sure.
for
We ain't doing
sure.
the reporter thing anymore. Too old for it.
Um, music with lyrics or instrumental?
Lyrics. Lyrics.
Because Paris gonna sing, baby.
and don't know the lyrics at all. Don't know them at all. Be mumbling. Yo, you remember that video? You remember when we went to that party with the little with the earphones? And Jay-Z was don't know the lyrics at all in my head, but when they come out my mouth, they be like, don't know
Read
the lyrics.
your next one.
Proudly will be out there.
Your next one.
Huh?
Read a book, or I say your next one. Read a book or have the book read to you, like Audible or Kindle or things like that.
Read the book. I'd rather read the book, even though I have decided to get into audiobooks because there's just so many books that I want to read. I just read Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. No, I didn't read it. I'm sorry. I listened to the audiobook of Brene Brown. That's a great book.
Okay.
That's a good one. For those who want to know about self-awareness and daring great for I don't know. It's the themes are matched. The themes match.
Okay.
It's a good book.
The last one I'll do, football or basketball.
Basketball, girl. I don't know nothing about football. Nothing.
I
am willing to learn, but right now
I couldn't remember which one it was you said you liked, but basketball.
Girl, I'll do basketball all day, but I don't know nothing about football. And I'm not inclined to learn, but I am willing to learn. I just actually read a website. It was called American Football 101 on Nike.com. And it was like describing, I was like, oh, this is much simpler than I thought. But I'm just going to keep it real. I don't like the sport. I think it's barbaric for a lot of reasons, but I get it. And I'm actually going to get into it now because of Deion Sanders. And the whole Colorado thing. I loved him at JSU, but now I'm even more invested because of him because at Colorado, how they treat my boy. I just love him. So I got to show my support.
You have to start watching it. You have to start watching it.
I've decided, yes, that I'm going to try to, but I mean, whatever. That's how I feel. Like, whatever. But I know people are very passionate about their football, particularly here in New Orleans. So I keep my mouth shut. I keep my mouth, I don't say nothing. I don't want to buy fights.
Don't say nothing.
To be real, I don't know nothing about football. Nothing.
Is there anything else you want to say before I let you go?
But just thank you so much, Tori, for inviting me or allowing me to invite myself on your podcast.
Thank you for the topic.
Really? Yes. Yes. So thank you for allowing me to talk and, just ramble about the subject. And I love you. And let me just say congratulations on I remember when you decided you wanted to start the podcast, and I've just seen the progression. So I'm very proud that you had a goal and you made it happen and you continue to make it happen. It's so wonderful, man. And I love him. I love listening to him. That the Pastor Everett one is the one that I was like, woo! You remember that one had me walking on the block like, whoops. Like, all right, what I'm saying? So yes, I love it. I'm glad. I'm so proud of you, and just keep on doing it.
Thank you. All right,
and then we need to go on our next vacation, girl.
What you said?
I said, and then we need to plan our next vacation, which probably is not going to be till 2025, to be honest, girl. It's been a lot of traveling this year.
You know what?
The money is low.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for joining this week. I don't know what Pat was talking about 2025. Bye, y'all. Bye. Thank you for listening this week to Tori Talks. I hope and pray that something was said that resonates with you on this week. And if there's any specific topic or person that you want to see and hear on a podcast, let me know. Email me, tori.talks9@gmail.com, or hit me up on Instagram, tori.talks9. See y'all soon.